Hello, Titan Radio listeners. Welcome to a little special segment in Titan Radio. This segment is to recognize and appreciate the creative side of Titan Radio, the Pax at Bonum. The Pax at Bonum is actually, to those who don't know, they are the organization of LSQC that runs the school paper and other literary projects such as the school magazine and of the like. So in this segment, we're going to be reading a few works from the Pax et Bonum. So sit back, relax. We have here Lorenzo Arellano and myself, as well as Hannah Marie Chiu. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Creative Minds of Pax et Bonum.
Hi everyone, my name is Lorenzo Arellano and I'm going to read the literary work slash poem made by Riannah Mendoza entitled The First Day. We were sitting in a cafe, windows are most from the rain. It was a cold evening on a Friday. He was sitting against a glass pane. I had the biggest cup of coffee. He had the biggest smile on his face. He was staring right at me. He made me blush and left me dazed. I took a napkin and wrote the date. It was a day worth remembering. All our stories would just relate. It was such a euphoric feeling. We left and saw the most beautiful sky, a perfect sunset in a rainbow. He said, I'll see you again. Goodbye. He was as radiant as the afterglow. It was a Saturday midnight. I had my life's worst day. Nothing I ever did seemed right. I watched you slip away. And there he said his final farewell. It's sad that this is how it all ends. I don't think I could ever get well. I burned letters I'll never be able to send. But every day I go back to the very first day. Because deep inside, I still wait for your return. I watch the day we met in my head on replay. You're a part of me that my heart will always yearn.
Hi, I am Hannah Marie Chiu, and today I will be writing The Idea of Love by Riannah Mendoza. Hi, I'm Hannah Marie Chiu, and today I'll be reading a piece called The Idea of Love by Riannah Mendoza. I've watched the fairy tales from Disney. I've read Romeo and Juliet's Tragedy. I've read the letters of Abelard and Heloise. I've read the story of Dante and Beatrice. I wonder if I'll ever meet a love that's strong, when 70 years doesn't feel that long. Living room dancing to our favorite song in a home with the person to whom I belong. I always fantasize about the idea of love and how sublime it would feel to fall in love with a person that would put me above and save me from everything I'm scared of. But I slowly start to fear the idea of love because I know the pain of falling in love. For a buy that put everyone else above and become everything I'm afraid of. I've always seen true love from old literature. The ones I've experienced were all torture because every past lover left me insecure. All my romances ended as a failure. But my heart still longs for a good future, that one day I'll meet a love so pure. Arms that always make me feel secure, a person that never leave me unsure. Maybe one day I'll be able to find a lover, one that deserved the love I have to offer, but for now, my heart must foster and heal for the love that I'll meet later.
This is Kiara Garcia reading 3 a.m. by Yumi Gatdula. Past my eyelids, the subconscious dark of my mind ejects burning sensation, fluorescent and illusory. I can almost feel myself detached from the shell, the face that I had donned for 15 years and counting. And when I open my eyes, I am still greeted by the dark, though this time not from the absence of thought and only that of light. The bulbs that hang over my head had fallen asleep long before my notions, and the ever present stars peek through my bedroom window. They make themselves present along with the apparitions in the corners, and I've always wondered why only at night. I continue to wonder, especially when my self made answers to worldly questions flee me. They never seem to stay rooted long enough for me to truly process them. All of the things that I think are mutants of a previous belief then continue to rearrange itself, shifting into a plethoric stage of colors to none at all. I'll close my eyes again until I've finally lost control of my own psyche and let whatever fear or dream steer me towards a memory I've never made, to memories that I won't remember tomorrow until something inanimate sparks it. Until then, I'll enjoy the feeling of freedom. Until then, I'll let my soul slip out of my body to experience independence and perhaps sovereignty.
Hi, I'm Hannah Rachel, and today I'll be reading a piece entitled An Aftermath of Animosity by Yumi Gatdula. What now with the ashes of wilted flowers and twitching leaves, of the crisp intellect burned to exactly that, of smoldering past and a whistle of smoke, of the memory of you crushed between somber hands, of bruises that decided the certainty of something that now ceases to be, of nothing we didn't see but now are.
Hello, I'm Kiara Garcia, and I will be reading the first half of Why Caldereta is My Ideal Love Story by Jan Francis Lugtu. I might have been starving or lovesick or even both when I wrote this. You might be wondering about the title if it's a mistake. I assure you, it's not. When people ask me what my ideal relationship is, I look at them dead in the eye and say, Caldereta. They proceed to laugh, then try to hide their concerned look while walking away from me, never to converse with me again. The reaction is pretty reasonable. I mean, have you ever asked someone about what their ideal relationship, then respond with quack quack? To be honest, I'll run away too. But I'm not weird or something, okay? At least let me explain myself here. My ideal relationship is truly caldereta. Why? Let me tell you. When I say my ideal relationship is caldereta, what I mean are the aspects of what makes the dish, the ingredients and the procedures that allow this edible art to exist became my handout or manual when thinking of my ideal love story or relationship. To explain fully, allow me to start with the ingredients and how they affect the dish and what they represent in my ideal love story or relationship. Ingredients. Set A: 1 kilogram beef, short plate, brisket, chopped, cut into serving parts. 1/4 cup of calamansi juice. 1/4 cup of soy sauce. This is for marinating your meat. It will affect the flavor later on. They say you eat with your eyes first. Have you seen a newly cooked caldereta? Notice how you aim for those big, juicy, and tender meat and red sauce first. Set A represents physical attraction or physical preferences. Quote, sabi nga nila, may kanya-kanya tayong type. But for me, this is not what comes first to mind when I'm looking for a partner. Everyone has preferences, and that's okay. However, make sure that those preferences aren't discriminatory beliefs like colorism or fat phobia. Set B: 4 tablespoons cooking oil, 6 cloves garlic, minced, 2 pieces medium onions, chopped, 4 pieces ripe tomatoes, diced, 1/4 cup liver spread or chopped chicken livers, 4 pieces of laurel leaves, 2 packs or 200 grams of tomato sauce, 1 tablespoon sugar to balance the tartness, 3 cups of water, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon cracked black pepper. These are the ingredients that will be the base of the flavor for the whole dish. These are for me the vital part of the recipe. These represent the first and most important factor when I'm looking for a partner: personality.
Set A will be useless without Set B. Who would eat stale and dry cooked meat rather than a savory and flavorful stew? Set B brings out the best out of set A, or even the whole dish, just like in a person. If we can be comfortable and enjoy the person for who they are and regardless of their looks, don't you think that's a green flag in a relationship? Set C. 1 large piece carrot, diced. 4 pieces medium potatoes, diced. 2 pieces red bell peppers, diced. 1 piece green bell pepper, diced. Set D. 1 tablespoon dried oregano leaves and 1/2 cup of cheese, grated. Set C and D are later added to the dish, for they just enhance the flavor of the recipe. These are the final touches in my love story or relationship. The things we do to keep the relationship exciting, meaningful, or even spicy. With the ingredients fully explained, let us proceed with the procedures or steps in making this God given dish for humanity. First, marinate the beef for at least 15 minutes. This will help the flavor later. Have our preferences set aside but ready. Second, get the ingredients, set B, set C, and set D, ready for battle. Be ready to give and receive in the relationship. Walang kulang at walang sobra sa pagbibigay. Dapat balanse. Third, make sure the pot you're using is big enough to receive the concoction. Turn the heat into low, then put the 4 tablespoons of oil in the pot. Don't come in too hot in a relationship. Be chill and don't rush things immediately. Saute the garlic, the onions, and tomatoes. Put a little bit of salt, then add a couple of laurel leaves. Add the livers. It will help the texture of the caldereta. Mix it a little, then add the marinated meat, then add the tomato sauce. Add water or stock, and lastly, cover the pot and wait until the meat is tender. Casually stir. As the dish sits on a low flame, the ingredients start to get to know and complement each other in the pot. In a relationship, it's important to get to know each other first and be comfortable with your partner. Converse about each other's hobbies, interests, goals, and dreams. For me, this makes my partner more attractive than ever, seeing their beauty within, seeing them as them. But it takes time. For the dish, it takes 2 or 2.5 hours to get the meat tender. But in a relationship, it takes sometimes years or even decades to nurture and turn into one of the greatest love stories ever told. Kung ang kaldereta slow cook, ang pagmamahalan natin slow burn. We have to be patient, do not rush. If the meat is tender and not tough, put the potatoes and carrots. Just like the meat, you can be vulnerable. You don't need to act tough always. Then, put the bell peppers. For the final touches, you can add the grated cheese and dried oregano leaves. These final steps are to ensure that the relationship remains enjoyable, exciting, and interesting. It helps you develop this insatiable hunger for it, causing you to want it more. We're done. Grab yourself a plate because you're about to taste the ineffable sensation of love.
Once again, this has been the creative side of Titan Radio, the Paxit Bonum. Thank you for listening.
Most especially, thank you to our writers, Riannah Mendoza, John Francis Lugtu, and not but last but not the least, Yumi Gatdula.
And we have been your readers, Kiara Garcia.
Hannah Marie Chiu.
And Lorenzo
Yay!
Arellano.